Organization for many, many years. He's been absent for a while, and we're glad that he's back.
Caitlin is his partner. Michaela. Granddaughter? Thank you. This must be one of the quick boys. I know they're out in the west side of town. It's the John Deere 111, 1965.
And
it's owned by Joe Buckley.
And he is towing the Massey pedal tractor that we're going to give away tomorrow afternoon.
At 3 o'clock.
And you can purchase a ticket to win that right over here at our general store.
We've got coming up next is Chuck Quick from Bonfield. It's a 1965 3020 diesel. No, it's a gas burner. Glad to have you here. And more of the Quick family. We got Larry Quick coming up with a 4020. It is a diesel. It is a power shift.
I believe
out on the west side of town.
I believe that also is a 1965. Wide front end on both of those John Deere tractors. The 30 and 40 series, very popular.
Next is Harold McQueen from Mantino on a 4520. It's a 1969 model. Harold, I'm pretty sure he's going to pull that tomorrow.
Yes, our tractor pull tomorrow, I believe, takes off at 2 o'clock, I believe.
2 or 1 o'clock. One o'clock tractor pull tomorrow.
Hey, here we go, 1938 Oliver, an Oliver 70, if you will, from Custer Park, Illinois. And it's from the Hackle collection.
And we've got an 8N Ford, 1948, owned by Kevin Barton from Aroma Park, Illinois. It's a 1948.
Here we go, next tractor in line, a 2-cylinder tractor from John Deere.
Mr. Melvin Marshall from Melco Tire from Mantino, Illinois.
He is one of the sponsors of our pedal pull this afternoon, I believe.
And it will also be pulling tomorrow. Now we've got, what do we got here? Okay. Dale Armstrong from Piatone is driving a 1954 Super MTA, and it's owned by Ron Meyer from, he's from Piatone. Mantino. Okay.
Hey man, look at this next one. Little bitty tractor, Ford if you will. And it's still wearing its work clothes.
Driven by Nathan Lejeff. He's only 10 years old from Kankakee. It's a 1972. Everything is original except for the seat, which he purchased from Tom Ort. Glad to have you here.
Our next tractor driver up is going to be John Foz from over Piatone Way.
It's a 1970 656 demonstrator. You look good on that tractor. Got an International Cub. It is owned by Roger Pierbolt from Kankakee, Illinois. It's a 1950, somewhere's in there. It's a Cub lowboy.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of those work on sickle bar mowers and belly mount mowers. Very popular.
Eldon Marcotte from Moments, Illinois with a 1982 284 International. Nice tractor.
You should be able to identify the one behind you, President Lowe.
That is Mr. George Grosso. And George has also got a little story because he's got a Caterpillar down at the north end of the grounds. He starts by walking on the flywheel.
I've seen him do it. It's unbelievable. I've seen him do it. And he's on a 1937 F20. Probably about the second year on rubber, I would think, for that tractor.
That's got an overdrive on it too because I've seen him put it in there. Harley Venti from Bonfield, Illinois with a John Deere 50. It's a 1953 model. It's got a 290 John Deere corn planter. Harley's had this tractor here every year that I've been here, I believe. It's also set up for check row on the corn planter.
Yeah.
A Farmall Model H, 1939. Owned by Chuck Youth from Yorkville, Illinois.
Yeah, man. Nice looking H.
I know this is Joey Dumas from Bonfield driving this, and this is from K&M Farms from Clifton. It's a 1952 Massey Harris Model 44.
You know, that was just prior to when they changed the names to Massey Ferguson.
This tractor is also in memory of Kenny Lindgren. He passed away last year here.
Oh, that's sad.
Al Crone from Barbonnet with a 1978 John Deere 400 garden tractor.
And a grain drill mounted right on the back.
Coming up is Grant Heatherwick with an Oliver 88. It is a 1948, and it's from the Heatherwick family.
Uh-huh.
He's got a lot of tractors here too.
Hey man, look at this Oliver with a Detroit diesel in it now. A 990, pretty rare and very nicely restored.
It's a 1959. It's owned by Larry Duda from Manteno, Illinois. That'll probably be in the poll tomorrow too.
I'm sure it will. Our next participant in the tractor parade, the 1941 Farmall H out of Moments. It's from the Grosso collection. We were up there on the north end of the grounds, talked to him yesterday.
Next is Steve Granger and his wife, 1964 3020 diesel. Steve does a lot of tractor rides.
I saw him at HTA. I did. The Tractor Adventure.
That way he's got the boss with him.
Yes.
We got a 4010 diesel, 1962.
That's about
Rich Meyer.
about the second year of them, I believe, isn't it? I believe it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 61 was the first year now. A Farmall 300, owned by K&M Farms from Clifton. And this one is also in memory of Kenny Lindgren. It's a 1956. Driven by Herb.
1942 Farmall H, next ride in, from the Larson collection, I believe.
From Woodhill, Illinois. Scott Erickson from Altona, Illinois, with a 1952 John Deere G.
John Deere A.
Nick, you must be Herc's daughter. From Ashcombe, Illinois, with a 1952A. It's the 7th from the last one built. There was only 7 more after that, and then they quit.
And that one's still wearing its work clothes.
This looks like Rick Evans from Kankakee, Illinois, with a 1954 Alice CA. And this one is in memory of Everett Evans.
Now here's a tractor that came in just not too long ago, and we haven't seen this one. We didn't see it yesterday.
Tyler Main from Altona, Illinois, with a 1929 Case, Model L. Now Altona's quite a ways over on the west side, and they brought a big trailer load. Glad to have them here. Coming up next is Bub Chandler from Ashcombe, Illinois. He's got a 1942 Model H. His father bought this tractor brand new the year that Bub was born. Asked to hear the air horn.
Yeah.
Bub also has that small steam engine over here. He was running the sawmill the little sawmill with it yesterday. He had a minor defect with it,
but we will be sawing shingles a little later in the day.
We've got Ann and Shirley Roach from Martinton, Illinois, with a 1949 Gibson Model H. It's rare. It was made in Longport, Colorado, which is near Denver.
And they're here just about every year with that.
Now we've got Mr. Don Bruner from Bourbonnais, Illinois, with a 1949 Minneapolis. It's called a Mini R. It's homemade. He's also got a trailer and with a Minneapolis pedal tractor and an Alice Chalmers pedal tractor. And Don's been around for a long time here.
Yeah, Minneapolis didn't build that. He did.
Yeah, it's a homemade tractor.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of homemade, this was a genuine imitation 8-end Ford made by Ford. They call it the Boomer. This is owned by John Kerner from Cambria, Illinois. If you notice, he's got a whole row of nice Ford tractors over in the south end by the gas engines.
Yes, he's got quite a collection on display here.
He made several trips to get them here today. Coming up next, it looks like a Model H Farmall. It's a 1939, owned by R. Bettenhausen from Manhattan, Illinois.
Yep, and he's set up for tractor rides, if you will. You bet he is.
A Roper Model 16, 1971 model Suburban. It's owned by Bob Ebenbaugh.
One of the last ones, actually.
A David Bradley. Oh, it's a Sears. It's a 1942 Handyman Jr. owned by Doug Wingert from Richmond,
And
Michigan.
this David Bradley stuff was built right here in Kankakee.
We got Brenda Shuby with a 1947 Walk Behind. She's from Altona, Illinois also.
Yeah,
And follow her is her father, Ron Shuby. He's in charge of our David Bradley stuff out here today, this whole weekend. This is a 1957 David Bradley with a David Bradley cart, driven by Ron Shuby.
and this is the home of David Bradley. Actually, factory was here up until 1986 when they had a fire, and that took care of the building.
John Shuby from Peatone with a 1957 Montgomery. It's Montgomery Ward's. It's a plow track with a Montgomery Ward's cart. We got Tom Schrick from Valparaiso, Indiana with a 1966 David Bradley Super 600. It's the last tractor made by David Bradley.
Now, how about this? I'm waiting to see somebody ride this. For you folks that can't see this, he has put together a rocking horse pony ride out of a whole lot of David Bradley's stuff.
Al Keys from New Bandon, Illinois, down by St. Louis. He's got the David Bradley trailer over here. It's like a museum. Jane is the wild one up front. Glad to have you here. Golf course. We got a golf course more, owned by Dean Geiler from Pocahontas, Illinois. It's made by Toro. It's a greenskeeper mower. It's model 58.
I'll be darned. Well, you truly see about anything here at the Old Time Farm Show, don't you?
That's the first one of them.
Yeah, it is. In all the years I've been coming here, I've never seen one before.
We got Mr. Don Buck with a 1957 WD-45. It's owned by John and Nancy Evans from Bonfield, Illinois. He's also with the Central Illinois Green Club.
Well, it's not over with yet, folks. We got a lot more to go.
Okay, we got another tractor from the Evans collection. It's their daughter Julie and grandson Keaton. It's a model 60. It's a 1955 model from the Evans collection. Another one from the Evans collection. Cody and Parker. That's the grandson and the great-grandson from the Evans collection. It's a 1954 Model 70 John Deere. And now we've got the cause of all this Evans problem, Mr. John Evans himself. He's driving a John Deere Model 70. He's from Bonfield, Illinois. He is also the president of the Central Illinois Green Club. This is a standard Wheatland diesel, 1955 model.
And it's one of the larger two-cylinder tractors that John Deere produced in that era. Can you imagine cultivating on that all day long?
We got Bruce Graff's tractor. I know that's not Bruce, that's his sister. These are made by Farmall. It's a 1949. This is from Tyler Stumpy from Rensselaer, Indiana. That's about an hour to the east from here.
Well, I see a lot of red coming at us here, and it looks like another Indiana tractor.
Another Doug Stumpy tractor from Rensselaer, 1948, Model M. Must be a relative. Paul and Shelby Stumpy from Lowell, Indiana with a 1942 Model H Farmall.
Very nicely presented.
Another one from Lowell, Kyle Stumpy, a 1955 Alice Chalmers WD-45. I believe this is going to be in the poll tomorrow too. Massey Harris, pacemaker. I call it a noisemaker. Owned by Dave Carl from Rockdale, Illinois. It's a 1938 model. Thank you. Model M, Farmall. Got a Dale St. Aubin from St. Louis, Missouri. 1943, Farmall M. I know this guy too. Jerry Long from Mantino with Pam Shepherd with her. It's a 1952 model Super C Farmall. Did you get your battery fixed?
Hey, boy, look here behind us, Dan. Look at the Cushman people turned out in force today.
Cushmans and more Cushmans. Richard Dubert from Peatone with the Dubert brothers.
Hey,
the Dubert brothers.
I believe that's an eagle.
Cushman. That's your brother? Okay. He found this sitting along the side of a building about 6 years ago. And it was in the rain, and he found it, and he must have put it back together and made it live. Also, we got the Cushman collection over here today. They're over in the southwest corner here in the tent. Make sure you stop in and see them all and talk to them. This is owned by Don Dubert from Manhattan, Illinois. It's a 1965 Super Silver Eagle. This comes from Ontario, Canada originally. Thank you.
Hey, Don Hammond, next ride up on the Cushman Eagle. It's actually the Super Eagle. It's the later model. It is. And very nicely presented and very nicely restored. Speaking of late model Eagles, boy, look at here. 65 out of Donovan with Dick Conrad on the seat. And it's a Super Silver Eagle, one of the last ones manufactured. We got a lot of them here right in a row. Last one sold in Moline, Illinois, right here, 1965.
Mr. Jim Wetzel, he spearheads this whole Cushman group here for us.
Yes, and then you notice now this is a theme scooter, if you will, and I want you to pay attention to that because it's important.
1962 model. Maynard Markey from Martinville, Illinois, I believe, or Donovan.
Yes.
David Bradley.
John Donovan.
1950 model. It's just you, huh?
We've watched these things go around the grounds for a couple days now, and they've been a lot of fun, I can tell you that. Big Al here on his 1963 David Bradley. Hails out of Crescent City. Yes, the Roper was here yesterday. It was one of the last that were put together here in Bourbonnais and Bradley. It was one of the last, and he's got a mounted tiller on the back.
I'm coming, we've got a 1070 case. It's a 1972, owned by Jason Fox from Dewey, Illinois. It's a 110 horse tractor, 451 cubic inches. Just a nice case. We're glad to have you here. .806 gas, owned by Ryan Fox from Dewey, Illinois, the 1966 model. And coming up, we've got a 620 John Deere, 1957 model, owned by Larry Hassinger from Peatone. No, it's Pontiac. I'll get the P's right. From Pontiac, Illinois. Thank you for bringing it.
Really good example of a nicely restored presented tractor. Two-cylinder tractor is very popular. Made the last one in 1960, I believe.
I believe this was another HTA tractor. Mr. Harold McQueen from Manteno, Illinois, 1967, 1206. It'll be hooked onto the sled too.
Yeah.
Art Downs, Watsika, Illinois. It's a case. It's a big one. 1957, model 600. They only built them 1 year. Art is also going to be in charge of the tractor pull tomorrow. He's going to be the announcer. This tractor will pull, and I think he's got 3 or 4 more he's going to be here with. 1960, model 60 John Deere, Harley Benty.
There you go, pulling 2 16s.
A 2-bottom plow. Harley's had this tractor here almost every year too. We got Ron Duda. I think he's from Bourbonnais. 830 John Deere diesel.
Now this is the biggest 2-cylinder tractor I believe John Deere made.
I'm sure that'll be hooked on the sled too. Al Coney from Bourbonnais, Illinois, with a 1954 Model 300.
Now I believe that concludes our parade of power for today. I want to thank everybody for their participation.
Yeah. Stationary rollers. Yeah. They usually do all kinds of work. You got pulleys out of them. Yeah. Bring it up to the elevator, you know, all kinds of stuff. Hello. ready.